students, hope you all are well. Last day we have discussed about the conjugate of a complex number and the modulus of a complex number very shortly. Now let's discuss about their properties and the geometrical representations. Also we'll discuss about the argument or amplitude of a complex number. So, conjugate of a complex number is a complex number which is obtained by putting minus I in place of I, and it is denoted by z bar. Therefore, if I take z as a complex number as a plus ib, then its conjugate will be z bar, which is nothing but a minus ib. I can write that complex number as in point notation also a comma b, and its conjugate will be a comma minus b. So geometrically, if we see a plus ib is lying in the first quadrant, so its conjugate we are getting in the fourth quadrant, which is a minus ib. And if we take the complex number in third quadrant, that is minus a minus ib, if we take, then its conjugate will get surely in the second quadrant, that is minus a plus ib. So in every cases we are getting that the complex number and its conjugate are the mirror reflection about the x-axis. Now the properties of this conjugate of a complex numbers are as follows.
Once upon a time, there was a man we know his gal whose name was He was a prince of mathematics, giant genius.
Now for the modulus of a complex number a plus ib, it was defined as square root of a square plus b square, that is square root of real z whole square plus imaginary z whole square, which can be written as root over a minus 0 whole square plus b minus 0 whole square, which is nothing but the distance of the point a comma b in the complex plane from the origin. So the geometrical representation of a modulus is the distance of the point in the complex plane from the origin. Now let's have a look on the properties of a modulus of a complex number.
Every polynomial, every single one has exactly a solution. He was the first to connect imaginary numbers to the world. He came up with a plus bi. But was I?
The argument of a complex number z is the angle made by the modulus vector with the positive x-axis. Let's discuss this by separating it into four cases. In the first case, let us take the complex number in the first quadrant. Therefore, let's take the complex number z as x plus iy, where x and y both are positive. Now let's draw the modulus vector of z, and let the alpha be the acute angle of mod z and the x-axis. So alpha will be connected to the positive x-axis itself. Hence tan alpha is equals to height by base, which is nothing but y by x. So from there we will get alpha is equals to tan inverse y by x. Now alpha itself is the angle where which is made by the mod vector with the positive x-axis. So the argument of z is equals to theta, which is equals to alpha itself, that is nothing but tan inverse y by x. And in case 2, let's take the complex number lies in the second quadrant, which is z equals to minus x plus iy. Now if we take the alpha as the acute angle of mod z and the x-axis, then alpha will be the angle related to the negative x-axis, but argument is an angle which is measured from the positive x-axis. So argument z equals to theta equals to pi minus alpha, which is pi minus tan inverse y by x. Now in the third case, let's take the complex number z lies in the third quadrant, which means the z equals to minus x minus iy. Hence, if we take the alpha as the acute angle of modulus vector and the x-axis here, then alpha will be an angle related to the negative x-axis again, and it will be in the downside. But the argument is an angle which is measured from the positive x-axis. So if we measure it from the positive x-axis, then again we will get pi minus alpha, but in the clockwise direction via the fourth quadrant. Here we have to keep it in mind that we always have taken and we always will be taking anti-clockwise direction as the positive direction. Thus the clockwise direction will be treated as the negative direction. That is why in argument z we will be taking a negative sign with pi minus alpha to denote the clockwise direction. Therefore our argument z will be minus of pi minus alpha, which is nothing but alpha minus pi, and that is tan inverse y by x minus pi. Also we can measure it from the anti-clockwise direction, which we will get as pi plus alpha as our argument. Now lastly, in case 4, let the point lies in the fourth quadrant, that is z equals to x minus iy. Here we will get our alpha, which is the angle between the modulus vector and the x-axis that will be connected with the positive x-axis only. So our argument also will be equals to alpha, and since we will get the direction of the alpha in the clockwise direction, so we will assign one negative sign with it. So our argument z will be minus alpha, which is nothing but minus tan inverse y by x. Now let's understand this concept of argument with suitable examples. If you look at these 4 examples, then the first example is from the first quadrant, and the second is from second quadrant, third one is from third quadrant, and the fourth one is from fourth quadrant. But in all the cases, x is equals to 1 or minus 1 and y is equals to 1 or minus 1. So their modulus values are 1 only. And we know that our alpha, if we want to find our alpha, that is equals to tan inverse mod y by x. That means we don't have to take the sign for that. Sign is only here to determine the point in which quadrant it will lie. So we will get our alpha as tan inverse mod y by mod x, which is nothing but tan inverse 1 by 1, that is tan inverse 1, which is nothing but equals to pi by 4. Now since the first one will lie in the first quadrant, so the argument z will be the same as the alpha, that is pi by 4, and second one is lying in the second quadrant, so its argument z will be pi minus pi by 4, which is nothing but 3 pi by 4. And for the third case, we will get the argument z as minus of pi minus alpha, which is nothing but minus 3 pi by 4, and in the fourth case it will lie in the fourth quadrant, so we will get our argument z as minus pi by 4. Now the polar form of a complex number is the representation of that complex number using the modulus vector and the argument. So if a complex number is given z equals to x plus iy, then its modulus, let's take the modulus is mod z and the argument is theta, then its polar form will be mod z into cos theta plus I sin theta. So if I denote the mod z as r, so it will be r cos theta plus I r sin theta, where r is the modulus of z and theta is the argument of z. For example, if we take one complex number 1 plus root 3i and I have to find the polar form of this complex number, then we will find the modulus of this complex number first, which is mod z equals to root over 1 square plus root 3 square, which is nothing but 2. And then argument we will find as theta equals to pi by 3. So our polar form will be 2 into cos pi by 3 plus I sin pi by 3. Now let me give you some homework based on today's concept. Do these all sums in your homework copy and send it to my personal WhatsApp number.